No means yes. All right, this piece of shit is officially out. And just like everything working on this truck, it was a way bigger pain in the ass than it needed to be. Hopefully in the future, I'll be able to get all this bullshit cleaned up and put something better in this thing. Skeeter Wyatt coming at you from Skeeter's Garage, and we are once again working on the 1985 S10, aka the DimePiece. Now what you're about to see is a whole lot of love and attention given to this old truck, which she 100% does not deserve. But what can I say? This old ugly bitch just does it for me, you know what I'm saying?
You sure can party!
Now last time I had this on video, you saw me free-wheeling the engine and transmission out of the engine bay there. And I made a mistake by not taking apart the front end to do that. So, the man PA from the Cafe Moto podcast came through to give me a hand with that. Took the whole front end apart. That way, when we decided to throw it all back in, it'd be a little bit easier. Now, in that process, what had happened was all the U-nuts, shouldn't say all of them, or about half of the U-nuts ended up breaking. So, that's a problem you're gonna see in the video get solved. Throughout the process, ended up taking out a whole bunch of other stuff, replacing it, making it a whole lot better, which is what you're about to see now. Certain bolts and nuts and everything like that just don't cooperate. Just gotta rip that motherfucker out sometimes. All right, we got this block off plate more or less mocked up in here. Problem is, we got a couple bolts that I had to cut off sticking out, as well as the heater core and everything, forcing it to not sit flush on there. So I'm gonna take the block off plate off. I'm gonna have to go inside, take out the heater core, which is a far bigger pain in the ass than I want it to be. So what we got to do is I'm gonna have to end up loosening up this whole dash, this crusty ass brittle dash, and get the heater cord out. Problem is, I got to take off a ton of paneling. I got to get the steering column dropped. I got to loosen up a bunch of wires and cables and stuff. And then and only then can I back this dash up, get to the heater core, take it out, then I got to put all that stuff back. Keep in mind, I do have a fiberglass dash I can throw in here, but I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of cutting all that up for gauges and doing all that stuff just yet. Maybe that's for a later video. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, out. All right, got 1, 2, 3, 4 out. Peel that mug out of the way. And I know what y'all are thinking. And floors, usually I'd say it's Old Bay seasoning, but that looks like straight up chili powder. So that'll have to get addressed some way, shape, or form. All right, after taking out a bunch more bolts on driver's side and passenger side, I got this dash peeled back quite a bit. I got that trim taken off. There's some 15 millimeters for the steering column. That's dropped down just a touch. I think there's one more over there I don't get, but I think I got this thing peeled back far enough where I can get down in there and get the rest of those taken off and get his heater core out. Fought me every step of the way, but he's out. All right, let's go see what it looks like. Ooh, we are nice and flush. My goodness. All right, so I'm gonna clean up all this right here. Eventually get a way to just kind of tap in the block off plate. I'm gonna paint that too. And yeah, we're in business now. All right, we are buttoned up, good to go. This thing is solid. Just got to put a couple more bolts down there, shore up this steering column, but shit, we got the heater core out. All right, another day. Let's see if we can get some of this wiring cleaned up, moved out of the way. That way I can start scraping and get this nonsense cleaned up. As you can see, it's pretty gunked. So maybe we can scrape, vacuum, break out the rattle can Ricardo and get this bitch cleaned up. Halfway done scraping. Just gotta do this side. I'm gonna pressure wash it, rub it down with some purple nurple, and get the painting. You ever like go to clean something to paint it and you're like, yeah, it's already black, it'd be fine if I just paint it black, and then you go like this. That thing is not black. Wow. All right, so since we got that fender out, I'm gonna get this center fender out. All of them came out good except for that bolt right there, which, as you can see, I've been hammering on this thing. So I guess that's what's next. All right, well, that was not as clean as I wanted it to be. We're using those things and that thing. We eventually did get that inner fender well out, but as you can see, we got some leftovers right there. Uncooperative motherfucker. Just when I was thinking it was a waste of time to do that, look at this. I mean, come on, man. All right, it ain't perfect, but it's better than it was. Now for a little spray and wipe down, and we'll let it rock. All right, we're all wiped down. What I'm gonna do is the frame and all these places that have, you know, surface rust and stuff like that, I'm gonna hit that with rust reformer. Just kind of leave that as it is. I don't necessarily need to look like a show car, it just needs to look better. And then probably for the sides over here and the firewall, I'm gonna hit that with some semi-gloss. For the rust spots right there, I'll hit that with the rust reformer as well, but gonna look a whole lot better than it did before. Rattle can Ricardo. All right, so I had like nothing left in that particular can, so I gotta go to the store and get some more, but man, you could tell what a difference. It'll never be confused for a professional job. But boy, it looks a hell of a lot better than it did. Let's get that firewall. All right, here we are. If it ain't black, it's whack. We got rid of all that stupid orange paint that was over here. Looks a lot better than it did before. Rusty booster is covered up now with some paint. That's good. You know, not too bad. All right, boys and girls, don't mind the mess in here, but right now we're going to be cleaning up this transmission, doing a little reseal action, and maybe getting it mated up to the old tree fitty right there. So as you can see, it is just a little grimy, so we will get that cleaned up. I'm gonna assume maybe that's leaking a little bit. I don't know, no idea. But I already got this front piece taken out. There is a gasket right here. Gasket looks pretty good. I'm probably gonna end up replacing that either way. But yeah, we're gonna end up cleaning this joint up and getting it re-put in. There's also a seal in there somewhere I'll replace. And we'll try to slap it back in the car. All right, so problem number 2 is, if you look at the race right there, it is galled pretty bad right there, which means that needs to get replaced. And in my kit, doesn't come with one, so now I need to try to find one. Hooray for me, Billy. All right, so I rented this, did not work, wasn't the right size. Bought this socket, just a tiny bit too big, but bought this little tool set right here. Looks like to be about the right size to knock this thing out, so wish me luck. Amazing what happens when you got the right tools. All right, we're gonna let that new bushing sit in the freezer for a little bit, that way it's easier to install in that thing right now. Now we're gonna get to working on this. So first off, obviously we need to clean all this bullshit up, but The reason why all that's caked up in there, I think, is because that little grommet down there is worn out from this not really being tight. So that needs to go right there when I install everything back. And yeah, we're gonna have to replace that grommet. All right, so again, ain't perfect, but man, compared to the sludge that was on there before, I'd say this is a big upgrade. All right, new grommet's in. Put a little silicone on there. Got it lined up right here. Should be all right from here on out. All right, got my new bushing in. That was more of a pain in the ass than I wanted it to be, but it's in there, and we can start getting this thing back together. Got to put the seal in first. All right, new seal in. Looking pretty good so far. All right, got those gears in, lubed it up. Time to move to this thing, change that gasket out. Yeah, this thing was just a tiny bit crusty. All right, we got that gasket very crudely scrubbed off. This is gonna get dropped down into there. Then we're gonna put that secured up with the bolts. New gasket right here. And then we're gonna put it up in the transmission. All right, so I got the O-ring out of this thing. It is nice and crispy. So it was overdue to get done, so I'll put that in too. All right, pump back in, 15 foot-pounds on all those. We're gonna wipe up some of this crud in here. And shit, I'm gonna be honest, I think we're ready to made it to that son of a bitch. All right, not perfect, definitely cleaner. All right, boys and girls, what you see right here, small block Chevrolet 350. Made it to a turbo 350 transmission. I got all my accessories and everything kind of bolted up from the Trio 5. And yeah, we're almost ready. All right. It's gonna take a little time and say, doing this by yourself is not recommended, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Slow and steady wins the race. Not in an actual race. But you know what I'm talking about. All right, so I've been doing this for way longer than I should have now. By yourself kind of sucks, but we are pretty close there. We are pretty close there. Problem is, I gotta tilt this bitch that way. I don't really know how to do that by myself, so we're gonna keep working at it, see how it works. All right, well, she's technically in. I don't know if you can see, but that bolt is in, but it's not all the way through. The same thing on that side. I don't know, man. It's 90-some degrees out here. We'll have to tackle this another day. All right, fast forward another day, another dollar. We got the motor mount bolts in. Thanks to the homie Liam coming over here. Give me an extra set of eyeballs, extra set of hands. And before too long, we should be able to rock and roll, get this bitch running. All right, fast forward to the next day. As you can see, I got some new valve covers on it. Got the distributor in. I didn't show it, but I got the transmission all buttoned up. I got the drive shaft put back in it. And as you can see right here, I got one of them headers mocked up. Problem is, I got another header right there. It doesn't necessarily fit with the steering shaft in the way, so I'm gonna have to figure out something with that, but we're rocking and rolling here. All right, carburetor on, fuel line on. So I gotta button up some stuff, but progress, baby, progress. So like I said, a problem we're having is this equivalent header doesn't fit on the other side. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna throw the manifold back on. Call it the old fitty fitty. Hit them with a little razzle dazzle. Accessories on. Actually starting to look like a complete setup now. All right, just when I thought I can really start moving forward on this, it's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. So I don't know if you could tell, the little fitting right there is for our oil pressure gauge, and my line for my oil pressure gauge, this right here, is too big to thread onto that. So I need to take that out and put my other setup on there, but the problem is I can't get a socket on there to get that out, nor can I get a wrench because it's too close to the firewall. The socket is because it's too close to the intake manifold. So in order to get that changed out, I need to take off the intake manifold. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty pissed off I got to do this, but it's my fault for not doing it beforehand. I just didn't think about it. So good news is I got an Edelbrock Performer RPM intake manifold instead of this, what I assume is like a Speedmaster joint. So I don't know, we'll see. Time to get to work on this. All right, intake manifold off. Now we get to do one of my absolute favorite things while working on old cars, is scraping gasket material. Everybody loves doing that, right? All that work just to get that little bitch ass fitting out. All right, what you're about to see is the proper way to put on small block Chevy intake manifold gaskets. Y'all ready? Boom. Easy peasy. Even a dummy like me can do it. All right, time to put on the oil pressure system that actually works correctly. So this part will screw down into the back of the block. This piece right here, screw into there. And then we can put the other intake manifold back on and actually make some progress on it. All right, that thing is now in, hopefully pointed in a direction that's not gonna interfere with anything. Let's keep moving. All right, so what we have right here is an Edelbrock Performer RPM Q-Jet, which is pretty clearly meant for quadrijet carburetors, but it should work with the Holley vacuum secondary I got. So I'm gonna do some quick mock-ups real quick. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then fuck it, I guess we're just throwing the same intake manifold on. All right, so this thing is not brand new, but it is very, very lightly used. So I'm pretty pumped about this thing right here. Got some nasty dabs of silicone. And just like that, we got an Edelbrock Performer RPM on this jump. Valve covers on, carburetor on, distributor in. This mug right here is about to get screwed in back there. So yeah, buddy. Ooh boy, got that purple stuff, baby. All right, we are actually ready to start putting this front end back together. So we're actually going to be riv nut gunning this joint. So you can see some holes right there, up there, down here, all over the place. So we're gonna throw some of those pieces in and see what it do, baby. All right, one down, about 100 more to go. All right, so these don't look terrible, in my opinion. I did mess up this one and put it on the opposite side. We'll see if that's gonna affect me. Probably will, we'll see. A couple more over here. I left the U-nuts that weren't broken in there. Again, we'll see if that comes back to bite me in the ass. Probably will. We shall see. All right, we're skipping ahead a lot of steps. Boom, grill on, which is brand new because I broke the old one. We got the new light bezels right there. We got this little piece right there all tightened up. And we even got new body bushings in. Looking good. Man, this thing gonna feel like a brand new truck. All right, bumper is on. We are not gonna talk about how I had to disassemble all the rest of that bullshit just to get it on, but it is what it is. Radiator in and zip tied, just like it came from the factory. Oh boy, just gotta get the battery in somehow. Wire this bitch up and I'm ready to start it. What y'all think? This battery tray still good, right? Yeah, that'll totally support the weight of a battery, right? Yeah. Yeah, dude. That is highway ready. All right, here we are, very crudely wired up. I'm gonna be honest, wiring is about what I'm the worst at. I'm gonna just see if this bitch could bump over real quick. I don't got no water in the alternator. I don't got no headlights. Because, my intent was to replace the headlight and replace that hardware because that's a little crusty, and do a little rattle can refurbish on this bucket. But as you can see, we're not getting that hardware out. So new headlamps, new buckets, new hardware, new plastic things like that. We getting that new on the front setup, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead, force feed it some gasolina. Pow. Good enough. All right, take one. Let's see if this bitch will bump over. Nope. All right. All right, take 14 after I think I got my wiring situation figured out. Maybe. Nope. All right, doing a little troubleshooting here. Check the battery. Battery's at 12 volts. I just ran an arc test on the battery, or excuse me, on the starter, and starter works. So, got to be something with the fuse box. Something's just not connecting to my button, or I don't know, something over there. So we're gonna figure it out. All right, we got an actual adult over here to help out. We got Mr. Sean C. Auto. Sean, what's going on, brother?
Hey, brother, man. You know, it's another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise. You've seen him on the channel before, the Terminator. Getting down with it, and yeah, we got our little starter button. We know the starter works, so we said fuck the key and, you know, fuck the push button start. We're gonna try to get it started like this. So
we're gonna troubleshoot this instead of having a nice cold engine to test wires. I'd rather have a nice 160-degree engine that I'm laying over trying to get it running.
Yeah,
testing wires. All right, buddy, you ready? Let me know when.
All right, let's do it.
All right, going hot.
Woo!
Run. Ready?
Go ahead. It's spinning. Take two. Let's go, baby.
Ready?
Yep.
Going hot.
Woo!
Running on 5 or 6 of them. Just got 2 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there ain't much I can do, but I can do fucking electrical, dude.
This is much easier with 2 people. It's this stupid. You're gonna laugh when you see the I don't know what you would call it, gauge panel, switch panel. But it's out of a 3rd gen Camaro, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah. Listen. There's some custom work done on that shit, all right? You know what I should have fucking known better?
Yeah, I know.
Because every time I started to do some shit on this, I was like, does it go to the ground? Does it go to the hot? Everything goes to the fucking hot side of that.
Yeah.
So,
It happens. You know what? Let's do this real quick. Bump the button inside real quick. Bump it, and I bet your engine bumps.
I bet it does.
Bet money.
What a fucking idiot!
Give her a little razzle dazzle.
Ready for this?
Yep. There you go. There you go.
Ah, what a fucking dum-dum.
You was the one.
There
There we go.
What a dum-dum.
I'll even fucking custom loom it for you.
Yeah, right?
Because you just dump it down the middle. You're just putting raw gas right into the intake manifold.
I like to do things raw.
I do things
Ooh, baby, I like it
I
raw.
love
You
me
know
a
what I'm
8 to 1 AFR.
saying? Shit.
Yeah.
I love it when my eyes burn.
Come on, man, look at this truck. You know?
I'll tell you what. Oh, it's a beaut. She's a beaut, Clark.
Yeah,
You gonna let it rip?
Wait till you peel up this fucking floor mat right here. You see the floors. All right, ready?
Yeah, buddy.
Fire in the hole.
You got a runner, dude.
Open headers, baby.
Good deal.
Sounds
Shit,
like a
man,
goddamn tractor.
This is ready for sick week. This is a pass tech. This will be. It'll be like everyone else that
that's
works on
so
their shit
funny,
in the tech
dude.
line.
That is so funny.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like a Harley. You know?
It sounds like a lawnmower.
Yeah, it does.
You know, a bit of retard delete there, put a little advance in it.
We never delete the retard because I'm always around.
Oh goodness.
A little retard delete. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff. All right.
State. I'm thinking I'll let you make the adjustment, but whatever you did, I would maybe perhaps undo
Maybe
it.
go the opposite side?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Bad gas to it.
There you go. All right, fire in the hole.
Undo the what was did was done.
Yeah. What would have been hilarious is if like I had it in the exact right spot from the beginning. Just got to get some fuel up in there. You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to snatch off the electric fuel pump off of this just to let it run. Just hot wire it, let it run for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that, but it fucking runs, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, you did a great job.
I got it 98% of the way. That last 2% of changing the fucking wire because I'm a
99 and a half.
Yeah. How about that shit?
A little bit of adult supervision.
Oh, man.
Sounds good, dude.
All right. We calling this video a wrap. She is back together. I don't know what's going on with the fuel lines, but it must be clogged or something like that. But it'll run as long as you feed fuel to it. So that's a problem for a later day. Shout out to PA. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Yelly. Shout out to Tony. Oh, man. A lot of people helped me out with this one. Shout out to Liam. So, yeah, man. Hopefully in the future, we're going to see this thing ripping and tearing, and we'll get after it a little bit.